No, shut up, yeah.
No.
We're supposed to be going on a long time.
What up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing good. Downer, two beats in the motherfucking pod, checking in with Joe, my co-host.
What's up, everybody?
Hope you guys are doing good. Today's episode is gonna be, based on, just to talk about our the passing of our son, um, and just how do we cope with it? Do we not cope with it? Like how did it work, or things like that. Um, I don't know.
I don't know. It's I thought I was ready to talk about it, but I think it's a little bit more difficult than I thought. Um, I mean, like, where do you even start? Uh, when we're thinking about uh, the topic with about Jose, that we wanted to dedicate it to Jose. I think what um, drove me to want to um, drove me to want to talk about it was because I had been receiving several DMs from parents who had lost their um, lost their son or daughter, or their child, pues, And so I thought that, it'd be, and there was like a lot of words of encouragement. There was some people telling me like that they admired or were inspired by our post, and how we were dealing with them. I had people that, DM me and were like, um, or you even responded to like a post, like, I wake up every morning wanting to see Downer's posts of what he does. And I told him that on there. And then, um, Roxanne, which is one of our daughter's friends, from high school, back in the day, freaking, she had seen it, and she said, that, it was inspiring that, a lot of people found strength and were watching, what we were doing and how we were coping. And I was like, I think it was a good idea for us to talk about it, because, we could maybe help somebody with something,
Yeah. I think that's what I even said. The thing. Sorry, I was distracted. I was trying to fix some stuff over here. But again, thank you for tuning in, with us, and hanging in, and being patient. I know we're on a little late, but that was my main goal. I didn't get anything like that, like anyone saying, oh, how you're doing it, and or I just got a lot of people telling me um, that they can't believe how we're pushing through, and how they felt or thought we were really strong, and it's just like, um, I don't know, like I can't really say that I have a certain, this is what the thing is, or I don't know, I don't, like initially I thought that I wanted to kind of almost like uh, not that I wanted to like find an answer, but it was just really difficult, you know. I almost wanted to find someone, like kind of like how Erica's saying that they contacted her, but I don't really know anyone, you know, um, that has lost someone, you know, as like their son, you know, or daughter, you know, or it's just because it's not easy, you know. So you know, I was trying to find something like that, but I couldn't, you know. So me, like right now, I was just talking with you know what a friend of ours, you know, like another friend of ours passed away just literally like within last week, you know, and you know it was scat, you know, and you know it's just like fuck, you know, and then there was this guy that was like calm, you know, one of our homies, he was calm and he was chilling, he was you know, telling us like he can't understand, you know, what we're feeling, but he's with us. And then their homie, you know, sketch like they have a little hood, you know what I mean, which is like UIS. So, you know, rest in peace, Scat, you know. And Streak was like, nah, like fuck that, you know, I want to be sad and I don't want to be happy, and I'm not like, you know, he was more like, let's just face it. I don't know. I can't talk for him, but it just seemed like he didn't want no he didn't know how to deal with it. You know, just like I didn't know how to deal with ours. You know, when it first happened, right? But what I did use was I got more in touch with God. You know, and I'm trying to keep my faith, and that's what I told this dude. You know, because I think that a lot of people. Um, don't know how to cope with things like that because they really don't have as far as being like a gangbanger, you know, or gang or being in the hood or whatever it is, you know. People don't really want to talk about being in, you know, in touch with God. So it's hard for them because you know it's kind of like a sign of weakness, right? For some, when it's like, oh, he's a Christian already, or this and that, you know. So it wasn't that. So I told the dude, you know what it is some of us that are from the hood aren't in touch with God and don't speak about God. So therefore, our only outlet is um, being upset and angry and not knowing how to really deal with the situation. You know, and you know, so that was just for me. That was my thing. You know, I'm still trying to, you know, keep, you know, every so often it's not something that I'm gonna forget. You know, I don't think I'm ever gonna forget it. It ain't something that I'm sure anybody's gonna like has been through it. It's easy for them to do. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I drink like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I get high. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, sometimes it's just like not really think and you know. But
So you drank like motherfucker before.
no, yeah. So you know, it's just like um, you know, so that's just my thing. You know, I think that for some people, you know, you gotta find that outlet, you know, or that resource that's gonna help you cope with the situation. That's the way I want to put it. You know, like that's how I do it. You know, like of course, you know, I call Erica. You know, I post on my son a lot. You know, I try to find all kinds of shit. You know, because I always was good with like I was trying to film him and shit. You know, so it was just like those are things that you know to me is like his pictures, his videos, hearing his voice, you know, um, and you know he has songs, a few songs out, you know, so like hearing that, you know, but then that kind of takes you back too, you know. So you know, I don't know, you know, like uh, I know that what I could say is for anyone out there that is battling with something like this, you know, uh, you could DM us, you know, like you guys have been doing with Erica, you know. I don't know how she does it, you know, but you know, I'm willing to hear you out. You know what I'm saying? Talk to you about how, like I said, I deal with it. I'm not telling people go drink or get high and shit, you know. That's just something that it's just I already kind of do. Was already doing, so I just do it more kind of like I feel I haven't like you know I'm putting the excuse down, you know. I don't know, you know, but you know, so it's just you know that's what I can say, you know, and make amends with like certain people, you know, like you'll be surprised, you know, like when if you don't like say like like not that. I mean, there's things that sometimes you're not gonna ever forgive, But if you can, and it's not something that's big, um, try to make that peace. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know when you are gonna lose a friend or a family member. That's something that I've learned through this process. Where it's like okay, but that's just something that like. And I'm just rambling and shit, my apologies, but that's one thing. That's what I do. Like I said, um, I try to keep my faith that there's a reason why God allowed this, or I don't even know if it's like called allowed, or I don't want to say it like that, but this process, I'm gonna have faith that there's something here. There's something for that. Erica was saying there's like, maybe our son was gonna see something. I don't know, or go through something that he maybe couldn't have dealt with it.
No, I was just I've always been a strong believer of like everything happens for a reason, and I just kind of reverted to that. I guess for I don't know if it's for healing, but for peace, I guess you can say. And then so I started thinking like, what could be the reasons? And the only thing that the only thing that comes to mind is that Diosito was uh, saving him from some sort of uh, pain or heartache that maybe he couldn't deal with, because I'm also a strong believer in that uh, God only dishes out what you can handle. So I'm thinking maybe there was something in his life that he wasn't gonna be able to deal with, maybe. And I was telling Bella this today on the ride home. I was like, oh, well, maybe Trump is gonna win, and there's gonna be like this big old chaos, and all this shit's gonna fucking happen, and that's why Jose didn't need to see that, and then Trump didn't win, and I was like, oh man, that's not what it was. So, I mean, I think I'm forever gonna be like waiting to see or to oh, that's why, you know what I'm saying, like to the reason as to why. Yeah, so
Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to say.
yeah.
Like because that's the things that you're gonna do. That's like you want to figure out who, what, why, why not you. Um, you're gonna blame someone, like blame someone else, for what's going on. Not that it's your fault, I'm not saying take that, but you know what I mean, like some fault, and when it was just an accident, what I'm saying, like that's all it was, like um, it was an accident, and my son didn't make it, you know what I'm saying, and our son didn't make it, and it's just like. So that's how you deal with it. I sleep with his hat next to me, with a rose that I took, from the little all the little like flower arrangements that we got for him. I took a rose,
The services.
I have a bunch of pictures everywhere, like for him. I got candles, and it's just like um it's almost like I just want to keep his name alive, because that's another way of coping for me, like just to know that like not forget him, things like that,
I don't know why it's this big old thing about forgetting, huh? Like I noticed that it's like um I understand certain things now, like uh movies and shit where or like real life, like when you see people who are crying after having had lost a loved one, like, mother, child like that, you know what I mean? And I never really understood that pain or that, you know what I mean? And it's like there's there's a lot of like, I don't know, just, oh, like I get that
Yeah,
now.
because like you said, like we say, like um, I don't think anyone, it's gonna happen, but it sucks, like um, it's just I don't know, I don't even know what to say. It's like you never want to be in those shoes, and because it's just like it's hard, it's hard to like deal with it, like even to get like fuck, I'm not gonna be able to get through this whole thing, I'm like, what, Erica, can you get some alcohol, before you come over here, and it's just like I said, like I already drink, but I am drinking more, like as like even when I just try just to drink beer, because I drink beer and vodka and shit, it's like I drink more of the beer, Usually I'll be like, I'm just gonna drink two, or three fucking Modelo top cans, and I could fuck up like six and shit, or and so it's just like fuck, but it's just I don't know, like um I don't know, there's some people that can't deal with it, and I feel them, like I really feel them, like because I've sat here and been like fuck it, I don't want to be here anymore, like I have other kids, you know what I mean, and it's like so then it's like damn, but like so it's like it's hard. It's just really hard. Like I can't even I can't even like like when someone has when your friends have a baby, is like you can talk to them about how your experiences might be or how you're gonna maybe take care of your kid or give them a suggestion. I can't do that to you. I can't I can listen to you and I can truly feel your pain.
Everything is so cliche, right? It's like, it's just, and I found myself like saying a bunch of the stuff that other people who have lost their loved ones on TV say, and I'm like, am I saying that? Because that's what I had seen on TV for people they're like, oh, I know they're in a better place, or oh, at least they're not suffering. Those are like statements that I think that um it's just things that you have to train your mind to think in order to be able to continue to, you know what I'm saying, like to go, in order to be able to get up and go to work, or get up and freaking get dressed, or freaking eat something, or you know what I mean, like, and it's sometimes it's fucking annoying because it's so cliche, the
Yeah, I mean, it is, I mean, you can say, but so that's again, it still goes back to me, like I said, it's about having faith, because uh, if you don't have the faith, then of course you don't feel he is in a better place, right? Because after death is you go to heaven, and if you're not in heaven, which is the best place, right? So you know what I mean? And it's all whatever your religion is or your beliefs or whatever it is. I'm not saying
no, and I believe it, but just the fact that, like all these people say it, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just
no, yeah, but
it's so cliche, you know
no,
what I mean?
yeah,
I believe it. I believe it. I know it, and I
no,
think that
that's
that's
what I'm
why
saying though. But
it's
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 because
it's a little bit not
when
easy
they
for
say
me.
it is, but when you say it to yourself, it's not.
I know, but me just saying it out loud is like annoying because I'm saying something that just sounds so cliche. Like, oh my God, but I'm not just saying it. Like, you're right. I feel it. I believe it. Like, I really know. You know what I'm saying? I do. But I'm like, because people do, like I said, DM me and they're like, oh, like, and I'm like, and I'm saying these things And I feel like it's so cliche. You feel me? Like it's just like I'm like, damn, I want to say uh, something better, something more meaningful, something, but that's what comes out of my mouth. And I'm like, does that come out of my mouth? That's what I'm saying. Because that's what I have seen for people, who have
Yeah,
gone through the same thing, that's what they say. And now I get it. Now I'm seeing it. I'm like, oh, I get it. Because I really feel like that. But it seems so cliche.
but
You feel me? Like,
yeah,
it's
I know what
just,
you're saying. We know what the word
sorry.
cliche means, man.
Sorry. It's just,
But so I don't know, like that's the only thing I can suggest, is your faith, whatever your belief is, because like I don't know, I mean, it's one day it could be cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, not that it's cool because I don't have my son, but I'm just saying it's like it's a cool day, like um, everything's going cool, but then the next day is like I can just see a picture, I can remember something, right? Or I hear like I would used to say before, right? So the bus stop right here in Plaza, Marengo and Villa is in the corner, and so there's a free, not the free bus, but the Arch bus, the fucking Arch Center
the
bus,
city bus.
the city bus, um, and you could hear this fool coming down, or I would come outside and that fool would be right. So those little things trigger shit, and then it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, so then it makes you feel fucked up, right? Or it brings back memories, so then you're like, fuck, so then that day will be gone, you know what I mean? Like, because like for me, I've been having this, like, I'll drink, drink, so then I can just fall asleep, So it's like, and then I won't wake up till like, and lately I've been trying to wake up like at 7:30, um, and I'll wake up like at 9, or some shit, So it's like, so I don't know, it's like I can't really say, um, like it's gonna be good, Like I said, there's people that can't come out of it. Like I'm sure um, exhaust themselves even of crying, like on a constant, like I don't know, I'm just saying how I am is I do cry, like pretty much I it could end up being where I cry every day, like or I think of some shit, but I try to just cope with the reality that okay, he's not here, and one day I am gonna be with him, so meanwhile, while I'm here, I just gotta take care of other duties and shit, that I gotta do, because I do have other kids, and it's like, and not only that, like me and Eric are cool, so it's like they're the only ones I really give a fuck about, you know what I mean? And I don't know, we're like, I love my nephews and I love my aunts and cousins and uncles and all, I love them too, but it's just like my priority is just, my kids and Erica, you know what I mean? And so, but to be honest with you, I think that, you might be like, oh, it's just like, um, Jose, it's like, it's been hard, since Jose, just to give you a little info, you know what I mean? It's like, um, Jose passed away September 30th, um, literally within like 2 weeks of him, it was your cousin, you know? No,
Not my cousin's son,
yeah, your nephew. It was her nephew um, that passed.
Jonathan Chawoya.
Um, then my
I think
uncle passed within a few days before or after,
before,
you know?
and then around the same time, Big Cluso passed,
Yeah.
and he's from our little circle with the music industry in a car accident as well, within the same
Yeah, 3 weeks, you could say,
yeah, 3 weeks span, yeah.
And so then that happens, right? And then it's like, okay, like, fuck, like, this is already, like, we're talking about 4 people, that we know. in our thing. That's like, two for sure. That's like, three, which is like my uncle, our son, and her nephew. Like that. That's our family. Immediate family. Right away that happened. And so it's like, damn, right? It's like, fuck. And
2 weeks later,
yeah,
big scat.
no, not even. And before that, Shaker passes away. And it's like, damn, it's like, fuck, you know, all right, and then what happens, like, literally within like
A
3 days,
week.
not even like 3 or 4 days after that, Scat Dobby passes away. You know what I'm saying?
And then my freaking a day after
The
that,
next day,
my cousin whose son passed away
her
2 weeks
her
ago.
nephew,
His dad passed away, so my cousin passed away. That was
you,
his only son.
and he passes away, and that's like, and it's just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, and like, of course, you know what I mean? Like, deaths happen, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people get hit probably harder than that or have, I'm not sure, But just for it, like we've been saying, like, these are immediate people that we know. Regardless of your relationship with them or not, these are just, it was like, what the fuck? Like a whole wave of like bullshit ass fucking like fuck, like, and I'm not trying to say bullshit like the deaths, no disrespect, I'm not saying nothing, but just like a bullshit of like stress and like, damn, how do you deal with this? Like, how does Erica do? How is she doing? How's her family doing? How's my family and what am I doing, right? And then we got friends, then, that extend, and then their friends and their families, and our friends is just like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
I did want to. I'm sorry. Because I was just thinking, like, I did want to get into like specifics of like um services and the correct way to come at somebody who's losing a a loved one. There was uh and I wanted to say this just because there's some people who don't have common sense, you know what I mean? And fucking, or are real narcissistic. Because these are the only two ways that you can do this. You lack common sense, or you're straight up so fucking far up your own fucking ass, straight up narcissistic, that you freaking don't understand that you are irrelevant to the situation, and you're trying to force your way into being around somebody who does not give a fuck about you and who you did not give a fuck about either. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm getting with this is because I had a big issue um after Jose's passing, where people were trying to fucking come around. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and it was so disgusting to me, the audacity that some people had, that that text me and said, "Oh, can you reserve a seat like for me and my wife and shit like that?" When I mean, at this time, you know what I mean? And it was like my mother, even another one, for example, like I don't talk to her. I told her, don't come to the vigil for whatever reason. It fucking is. Don't come to the vigil. Don't come to the funeral. Don't come to. If I'm telling you, I'm the one who lost my son. If I'm telling you, don't come, don't bother me. Stop fucking trying. I think it's so disrespectful. Leave people alone. So I ended up fucking opening my doors to a lot of fucking people. You know what I mean? To be like, when I wanted it to be just like close, like just real close. And I ended up opening my doors to a lot of people, and I don't regret to most of the people that came. I really don't regret it. I'm very fortunate. Thank you so much for coming. Those people who came and helped out, even if you weren't like really around. You know what I'm saying? There was a couple of people that weren't really like around for us, but they were so genuinely like feeling and giving and helping, and you know what I'm saying, that but there was these other people that I was like, okay, fine, you know what I'm saying? Like, and even though, you know, I knew that they're like fake ass people, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, okay, you know? And so I let it come around and I ended up like not doing certain things in the service, you know what I'm saying? Funeral services because I was upset at the sight of certain people, you know, not doing certain things at different stages of my mourning with my son because there was people there that weren't welcomed, right? That I didn't want, that I didn't want to do it. So I mean, so I ended up so in my thought from what I learned from this and what I want to give out to anybody who ever loses a loved one is like do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because if I could do it all over again, I would have been like straight on my give you a middle finger like how I had posted and said, keep your same motherfucking energy that you had with me. I would have fucking kept that and not fucking broken down no doors and been like, oh, maybe you could come or no, fuck you, fuck everybody. And I would have just been just like me and my kids and you know those people who were there to really help. Thank you, Hefty. Thank you, Drea. Thank you, Maide. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, Jessica, you know what I'm saying? The Munoz family who donated. Like, I'm aware of all you guys, you know, and I really appreciate it. But all these other people, like, I would, if anything like this ever happens to me, and I, you know, I hope nothing like that, but ever happens to me, but I'm just gonna keep it like, fuck everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good, and everybody who was right here is gonna continue to be right here. I'm not opening my doors to anybody else. Don't do it just because, you know, of the death, because then they come and they're like, oh, I want to be right there. And then they're done. They just want to be relevant for what fucking reason? You know what I'm saying? You never were here before. You're not here after. The fuck? You know what I'm fucking, and you're intruding in my fucking morning. Fucking disrespectful and disgusting.
Well, since when you create a baby, I'm just gonna be real easy about it and simple, and not be with all of that, right? Because at the end of the day, like, it wasn't about anyone else other than Jose. So I would say, you know, of course, in our situation, you know what I'm saying? It's a little different, right? Because not only did we lose our son, but we're not even together. So her likings and my likings might not match or agree with, you know? Um, so I think, my suggestion, regardless if you're in a relationship or not, the simplest way that you could put it is you guys just gotta find a medium. If you do have those differences,
but that's what we did, honestly.
you have those differences, because um, like I said, at that point in time, your emotions that you're going through have nothing to do with the death, or passing of that loved one, and you are choosing, like, of course, because you gotta look at it like this. In this scenario, it's our son, so of course, Angie's underage, so of course, we have to have boundaries, right? Like I said, what she might like or what I might not like. But when it's an adult or somebody else, don't nobody give a fuck about what you think. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no one gonna give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, say jump to, and the reason I'm saying this, like, let me give you an example. Say, my cousin passes, and my cousin thinks that I'm a fucking, I'm a fucking punk, and I don't come around, and who am I to go show up over there, right? Well, who the fuck are you, fool? He's an adult. I'm coming to see my cousin that's resting in peace. Fuck what you gotta say. I don't care what your feelings are no more. The person's an adult. You have no choice in who comes or goes or isn't just because, like, that might be my cousin's brother. Like, get the fuck out of here. Don't you? I think people are completely different. In this situation, she might, Erica had her right to feel, and I agree with her. Don't get me wrong, I agree with her with certain things. Like, yeah, you didn't come around, and all of a sudden you're around, but you know what? This is what's funny, So, like I said, not funny, wrong word. What is, to me, like, I'm learning through this process because I'm still grieving. I'm still having to make decisions on who I want in my life or who don't have in my life, right? So it's like um, I have, Omar, calls me here and there. Shady calls me in a constant. I'm not trying to put no one on blast. I'm just saying, you know, Shady calls me constant. Hefty calls me constant. Um, Swifty has his own little thing. He has a little baby and everything and his stuff going, but he calls me kind of like, as much as he does, right? And those are my homies that I really appreciate. Like I really truly appreciate it because my compadre, although he's my homie, he's from my neighborhood, he's my compadre. That's different. That's my family. He can't do anything other than kill me for me to be like upset at him or some shit. So it is so. I appreciate it. That and I appreciate a lot of other people like um,
My cousin Julie.
Andrea, Julie, like but that's different too. Their family, that's more family
Yeah.
oriented. I don't know if you guys ever understand that. To me, it was like when you're very family oriented, because even though like we're not together, we still are family, and we kind of do that. Like she might not like we might not do it together as much anymore, but we still were always around family like that. Like so we connect with certain people, like they're not our homies no more or our friends. Like all the ones I just mentioned, I don't feel like they're my homies. Like I feel that's my family. It's like I really function with them. And then my other homies, because she didn't have a problem, with my homies, and she didn't allow certain homies to come, right? And it was like I felt fucked up just because at the end of the day, um, I mean, there's a lot of there's too much to come up with just certain ones that like a couple that weren't allowed to go because of like COVID things, and all this or whatever, was like damn, just because at the end of the day, um, like I said, people are they're just um, maybe not mourn because they can't mourn with you if they've never already been around you and they're gone for 15 years of their life. There's no real, maybe not a real feeling there. I don't know. I think that um, shit. I haven't seen my homie Lil Negro for fucking ever. But if I found out something fucking happened to him, like I still genuinely feel fucked up.
Well, that's my primo too.
So it's like I genuinely like it's not it's just not like so it's just like it's just different, like I don't know. And again, to each his own. I'm not saying take what I say. I'm just saying I think come to some agreement if you can. And we did, like we said, it wasn't like we had this and we're fighting because of that. But I'm just saying there was still a little bit of things that I think should have been done a little different. You know, like I said, I didn't care where my mom went. I didn't. And the reason why, no matter what she did, she. This is why. That's why I'm talking about keeping my faith. And being like real. Like I don't think anyone that knows me, because Erica knows me. But no one can understand my state of mind right now. And my state of mind is I'm gonna keep my faith, and I'm gonna continue to believe what I feel, because and how I see other people or what their actions are, because they don't have to actually mean nothing. Even if you backstab me and you're my homie, I'm like, I swear to God, at this right now, and I shouldn't really be saying swear to God, my bad, is I wouldn't even care about you tomorrow. Straight up. If you don't show me, she's right. If you don't show me realness and you're around and you're doing shit and we keep in contact and you're saying hi to me every so often, shit like that, I get that. I 100% back of America. I get that. But we can't expect other people to do that. I can't expect no more. I don't have faith in that no more. That I don't have faith in. I don't have faith in as a humans. I don't have faith in that shit. I expect now everybody to do that. So when it happens, it's not like oh my god, or do you know what I'm saying? So not to go on some other thing like I said, it's just keep it where like you guys can still have something good for yourselves, because you know what? These are still memories you're gonna live on with. You're still gonna have. you don't want to remember, like, fuck, I was pissed off at my fucking, like, I'm imagining, like, how she's saying it, like, that's how she must have felt, like, oh, she was pissed off at my son's funeral.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, for real, so, like, you shouldn't have, you can feel sad, because it was sad, but pissed off, that's extra. That was an extra thing for you, like,
Yeah.
so it's just like, damn,
And brought
you
upon
know,
a narcissistic, selfish fuck.
so it's like, no, because see, you have no control over it. That's what I'm trying to say. You have no control over anyone. So regardless
I
of whether
know.
someone else is or isn't, who the fuck cares? That's where I'm at. Like, and I'm just saying, because I know Erica feels like how she feels and shit, but, and I'm not saying she's gonna change anything, but she's
It's just
still
that's not what you
cool. Like,
abide by either.
it's just like she like I don't know. I'm not even trying to go somewhere else. Like, that has nothing to do with nothing. I understand her feelings. I respect her feelings. Whatever it is, cool. Like I told her, I wasn't trying to disrespect her. I wasn't trying to be fucked up. Like, I don't give a fuck about your feelings. I didn't fight with her. Up about, like, keep pushing it and shit like that. Even though other people shut up. So it's like, and that's just how I was. Like I said, I really don't have a problem. I even said hi to her when I didn't. I was like, man, because I was thinking she was gonna pop up, her mom. You know, and I still even said hi. I said
Hi to her.
yes. I said hi to Jesse. I said hi to, like, and it's just like, I don't, like, it doesn't bother me to know, like, hey, cool. I don't have to live. I don't live with her. I don't. We don't have a brunch or lunch
Exactly.
or
So don't
breakfast
acknowledge
or
her.
anything like that. And you know
Exactly.
what?
So don't
Like I
acknowledge
said,
her.
even when she passes away, she's gonna have to see my son in her face. And my son is vocal. My son. That's why I ain't gotta worry about it. It's almost like I'm gonna create a problem for myself, or be upset with myself, and have a fucked up day when I'm trying to mourn my son. There's nothing gonna take over. I look, as much as I didn't like everything that went down, because there was other issue shit, like within the family shit, like just family stuff. That it was, but it was like I was 90% cool. Like I mourned. I saw my son, which I know takes a lot of grunt. That's another thing that people will. I think that's important that we need to talk about is, like, you know, my son was driving when this accident happened. And to this day, I'm sure he takes, like, a big blow, or and guilt. You know, and it's like, don't blame them, especially if it was an accident. That's what I'm trying to say, you know, or, like, don't blame them, that they're probably need more of the support, regardless of me being a parent or not. Like, like, think about it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta live with the fact that it's like an accident happened, regardless of what, and someone passed away. That has to be hard. Has to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel responsible. Like, the eyes I seen my kid give me when I seen him were like of so much sorry, like of so sorriness, like, and I'm like, fuck, like, I feel so bad for him. Just right now, like, because we were having a little bit of problems, me and my boy, and I was upset with him, and I was upset, and, like, fuck, like we were gonna fight and shit, and I said sorry to him because I don't want him to, like, or me to pass away if we never said sorry, or that's not how we should do our emotions when we got caught up, and so it's just like, that's something, you know what I mean, that you gotta think about, I think if another family is involved with this an issue like that, like, be cool with them, you know what I mean, as much as you could, I understand you have pain too, but it's an accident. Like, Jose Gordo didn't do anything, and landlords were like fucking forever known to flip and shit like that. So it is what it is, Like, I'm not here to beat my son up about something he didn't do, and that's just another part that I thought would be important to share. If you guys have to go through that, because I never met somebody until Erica told me that one of our chosen families went through something like that. And I was like, what the hell? The exact same thing. Like, I'm not even bullshitting you guys. So it was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the brother was driving and got in a car accident, and the the driver survived, and the passenger brother passed.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? Like, and protect them, because these fucking cops are fucking, oh my gosh, man. Like, these motherfuckers were like, oh my son, like, are you high? Are you drunk? Are you like this and that? Like, damn, you know what I mean? And I get that's a job. So I'm not trying to talk shit, but it's just like, you know, I think that's something that I would like to share and say, like, um, kind of learn to be, or not learn, just understand that it's an accident as best as you can. Because, like I said, I know we all gonna feel different or express our feelings or anger different, or sadness, So that's just not something that was, pretty important, and it's like,
Cut it early today.
but is there anything else? I don't know. I mean, that's what I just want to say, and then I think like anybody that's lost somebody, our condolences. This year is like so fucking disgusting. I'm tired of the fucking year, man. Like, I swear. Like, so
I don't think it could get any worse from here.
it shit can get worse, trust.
I don't think so.
So, just with all that said, I hope we didn't like bother you guys too much or like what the fuck is going on, but it's kind of hard, to like talk about it and really get like in depth on like how we could give you information that might help you if you ever go through something like that. And I hope we weren't just rambling and shit like that, but
I think even just the rambling freaking helps people to like, oh shit, we're normal. You know what I mean? Just like everybody else. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we're normal.
yeah, so we just want to say, what I mean, like thank everybody, like for
Thank
real.
you guys for
Everybody that helped us out, and everybody that was around, like Erica was saying, overall, that went
except
through
for
the
those
funeral.
ones that weren't wanted and still came around. Fuck you. Eat a fat dick.
That's what retarded. That's just sure. That's what I'm saying. That's all just extra shit. Like I said, yeah. Um, yeah. That's what we're supposed to be out here doing. Yeah, cool. So like I said, you know what I mean. Anything that what I'm saying that um you guys want to DM us or ask us in the future on how to deal with a situation like this, you guys are welcome. You know what I mean? Leave comments on our YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We will respond. On our Facebook, on our IG. Whatever's best for you. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll respond to the best that we can. Like, and we're not saying we know the answer. We're here to, you know what I mean?
And then next week we're gonna be doing a little Thanksgiving special. So maybe we will bring. Yeah, well, like that's what we're talking about, like Thanksgiving. What does it mean to us, Latinos, and Thanksgiving? What do we do? Do we not give a fuck? Are we woke on it? You know what I mean? Shit like that. That's what I mean. That by Thanksgiving is because we are in America. So it's the day before Thanksgiving.
South
and
America is
so
America too.
we are in North America. And so we're gonna talk about that, like what it means to us, how many people are still freaking, I wonder if people are still really celebrating and shit like that.
It's gonna be hard, but I can celebrate my side.
Yeah, because of COVID and shit like that. We'll talk about all of that.
Yeah, but again, thank you guys for always hanging in with us. You
And
know what I'm
tuning
saying?
in
Tuning in. Without
every
you guys,
Wednesday.
we ain't shit. So, even I know we've got a little fucking off track with time. We apologize for that too today.
We'll be back on time
We'll be back on time next
next week.
week. Thank you guys for tuning in. My condolences to everybody out there. Rest in peace, Skate, your primo, his nephew,
Johnny
his son,
Chaboya, Jonathan Chaboya. Of course, my baby,
our son.
Darealgasser, baby, I love you forever.
Like everybody, you know what I'm saying, that you guys lost out there, rest in peace to them. Our condolences from Two Bees and Motherfucking Pod to you guys. May your family stay safe, stay blessed tonight. And with that said,
Good night.
peace.
Peace.